Imagine the center of your living room, that small, silent black box sitting under your television, suddenly transforming into the most powerful piece of technology in your home. For years, the Apple TV 4K has been the gold standard for streaming, but it's always felt like a secondary player in Apple's ecosystem, a polished, reliable, but ultimately quiet companion. That is all about to change. We are standing on the precipice of the biggest hardware shift in the history of home entertainment. Recent supply chain leaks and internal code discoveries have just pulled back the curtain on the 2026 Apple TV 4K, and the implications are staggering. This isn't just a minor refresh or a seasonal update. This is Apple's aggressive move to seize control of the smart home, the gaming market, and the very fabric of how we interact with ambient technology. Welcome back to my channel Tech Rivet for exclusive insights into the future of tech. Subscribe my channel. Hit the bell icon for more tech updates. Now, let's dive into why the 2026 model is being whispered about in Silicon Valley as the Trojan horse of the Apple ecosystem. For the first time, we're looking at a device that bridges the gap between a high-end gaming console, an AI-driven supercomputer, and a seamless smart home hub, all while potentially dropping its price to a point that will make Roku and Amazon tremble. The heart of this revolution lies in the silicon. While the current model relies on the A15 Bionic, a chip that is still incredibly capable, the 2026 version is reportedly jumping straight into the big leagues with the A17 Pro or even the A18 chipset. Why does this matter for a device that mostly plays Netflix? It's because Apple is no longer viewing this as a streaming box. By integrating the A17 Pro, Apple is bringing hardware-accelerated ray tracing and console-level GPU performance to your TV. This means the 2026 Apple TV 4K will be capable of running AAA titles like Resident Evil Village or Death Stranding natively, without the need for a dedicated PlayStation or Xbox. Think about that for a second. You're looking at a $99 to $129 device that can compete with $500 consoles. But the power doesn't stop at gaming. This massive leap in processing power is the foundation for Apple Intelligence in the living room. We've seen what AI can do on the iPhone, but on a 75-inch screen, it becomes a completely different beast. Leaks suggest a new, conversational Siri that doesn't just wait for commands, but understands the context of what's on your screen, who is in the room, and what time of day it is. One of the most exciting rumors circulating in the 2026 leaks is the introduction of a custom, Apple-designed networking chip, internally referred to as the N1. This isn't just about faster Wi-Fi, though support for Wi-Fi 7 is almost a certainty. The N1 chip is designed to be the ultimate traffic controller for your smart home. Currently, smart homes can be a mess of conflicting protocols and laggy responses. Apple's vision for 2026 is ambient computing, a home where your lights, locks, and thermostats respond instantly because the Apple TV 4K is acting as a local, high-speed server. Instead of sending your voice commands to the cloud and back, the A17 Pro's neural engine will process everything locally on the device. This means near-zero latency and, more importantly, a level of privacy that no other smart home provider can match. Imagine walking into your living room, and the Apple TV recognizes your presence through the rumored continuity integration, automatically adjusting the lighting to your preferred movie-watching preset and pulling up your continue watching list before you even touch the remote. Speaking of the remote, the 2026 leaks suggest a long overdue quality of life upgrade that will save millions of hours of frustration. We have all been there. The slim, slippery Siri remote disappears into the abyss of the sofa cushions. For the 2026 model, Apple is reportedly embedding a U2 ultra-wideband chip directly into the remote itself. This will enable precision finding via your iPhone, allowing you to track the remote's exact location down to the inch, complete with directional arrows and haptic feedback. It's a small change, but it's the kind of practical innovation that makes the Apple ecosystem so sticky for users. Furthermore, there are whispers of a slightly redesigned chassis for the main unit. While Apple has stuck to the black UC design for years, the 2026 model might feature a more liquid aesthetic, perhaps a glass top finish or a more compact, fanless design that allows it to disappear even more seamlessly into a modern home theater setup. But perhaps the most disruptive leak involved the price. For years, Apple has been criticized for charging $130 to $150 for a device, while competitors like the Amazon Fire Stick sell for $40. However, analysts are now predicting that Apple might release a base model 2026 Apple TV 4K for under $100. This isn't Apple being charitable. It's a calculated strategy. By lowering the barrier to entry, Apple can flood living rooms with its hardware, turning every house into a hub for Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, and Apple Fitness Plus. If they can get a high-powered AI server into every home at a sub-$100 price point, they effectively win the smart home war. They are essentially selling you a gateway to their services, and the 2026 hardware is the most enticing bait they've ever offered. Let's talk about the display technology, because this is where the 4K in the name gets a serious boost. There are strong indications that Apple is preparing for the 8K transition, even if 8K TVs aren't mainstream yet. The 2026 model is expected to support HDMI 2.1b, allowing for 8K streaming and 120 Hz refresh rates. If you're a sports fan or a gamer, 120 Hz on a massive screen is a game changer. It eliminates motion blur and makes everything from a 4K football match to a fast-paced shooter feel incredibly fluid. There's also talk of computational video, a technology similar to what Apple does with iPhone photos, where the A18 chip uses AI to upscale older 1080p or standard 4K content in real time, making it look sharper, more vibrant, and more realistic than ever before. Your old favorite movies will literally look better just by playing them through this new box. Another fascinating leak points toward Home OS. While the Apple TV currently runs tvOS, there are rumors that Apple is merging its home-based software into a unified Home OS. This would turn the 2026 Apple TV into a central dashboard for your entire life. Imagine a split-screen view where you're watching a game on one side, while the other side shows your smart doorbell camera, your calendar for tomorrow, and a live feed of your Apple Fitness Plus stats from your Apple Watch. This level of integration is what sets Apple apart, and the 2026 hardware is finally powerful enough to handle these complex multitasking scenarios without a hint of lag. There are even reports of a dedicated camera port or enhanced support for using your iPhone as a wireless webcam for FaceTime calls on the big screen, featuring center stage technology that follows you as you move around the room. We also have to consider the Apple Intelligence aspect more deeply. In the 2026 leaks, there is mention of contextual awareness. This means the Apple TV might use the microphone and proximity sensors in your other Apple devices to know who is in the room. If it's just you, it shows your personalized recommendations. If your kids walk in, it automatically switches to a kid's profile with restricted content. This seamless, it just works philosophy is the core of the 2026 vision. No more manually switching profiles or digging through settings. The device adapts to the humans in the room, not the other way around. This is the future of the living room, a device that is invisible when you don't need it, but omniscient when you do. As we look toward the rumored spring 2026 or late 2026 release date, the anticipation is building to a fever pitch. We're looking at a device that offers more processing power than many laptops, the gaming capability of console, the intelligence of a personal assistant, and the reliability of a professional-grade streaming box, all in a package that fits in the palm of your hand. The 2026 Apple TV 4K isn't just an upgrade. It's a statement. It's Apple saying that the living room is the next great frontier for AI and technology. Whether you're a hardcore gamer, a cinema enthusiast, or someone who just wants their smart home to actually be smart, the leaks suggest that this is the device you have been waiting for. It's the piece of the puzzle that finally makes the connected home feel like science fiction come to life. Every leak, every supply chain whisper, and every line of code in the latest iOS betas points to the same conclusion. 2026 will be the year of the Apple TV. We are moving away from just another streaming box toward a central home intelligence hub. The competition should be worried. With a potential price drop, a massive jump in power, and a suite of AI features that no one else can match, Apple is ready to dominate the screen that sits at the center of our lives. If you've been holding off on upgrading your home theater setup, 2026 is the year to finally pull the trigger. The future isn't just coming. It's going to be plugged into your HDMI port. Keep an eye on the upcoming Apple events, because if even half of these leaks are true, the 2026 Apple TV 4K will be the most significant piece of tech in your house.